Hello class, welcome. Today we're going to talk about finding the equation of a circle or just graphing equations on a coordinate plane. If you're going to graph a circle on the coordinate plane, you have to know how equations of circles work. So first write this down in your notes. This is the general form for the equation of a circle. Very similar to like y equals mx plus b is for a line. But you have to know what each individual parts mean. So the h and the k represent the center of your circle. Now it is important to realize that since these are representing the center of your circle, see this minus here and this minus here? This actually means you do the opposite operation. So if it was positive in here, you do negative. If it's negative, you do positive. And then R, if you haven't guessed it, represents the radius. Notice the radius is always squared. So when you're plotting your circle, you'll square root that number that you're given. Let's do a quick example here. So I have the equation x minus 4 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 9. And I want to graph that circle. To graph the circle, you need to know the center and you need to know the radius. Now again, a 4 and the 2 represent your center. You always do the opposite operation. This is going to be a positive 4. It's going to be a negative 2. And then your radius in the equation is represented by r squared. So you'll have to square root this number, the 9, and get a 3. Now let's plot it. The point 4, positive 4, and then negative 2 is right here. Then you're counting 3 in each direction. You'll count 3 this way, 1, 2, 3 this way, that way, and that way. And then you connect your dots. And that's how you graph a basic equation of a circle. You will often be asked to find the equation of a circle. A lot of times I find it's helpful to draw a picture of whatever your situation is. So this one says find the equation of a circle if the endpoints of the diameter are at 3, 2, and 3, negative 4. So let's plot those points. 3, 2, and 3, negative 4. If I'm going to write an equation of your circle, you need a center and you need a radius. So let's see what we got. I also sometimes find it helpful to actually write down the points. Especially if you're drawing a grid by hand, it can get a little confusing. So we have first to find the center of the circle. Well, if this is a diameter, that means my circle kind of goes like this. Again, this is not a perfect drawing. But my center of my circle has to be somewhere in the middle here. So since the 3's are the same, I really have to find the middle of 2 and negative 4. There's a lot of different ways you could do that. You could always find the average, or you could just count. But the middle of 2 and negative 4 would have to be negative 1. And you can even count your boxes. There are 3 boxes on that end and 3 boxes on that end. So there's your center. So the center of the circle is at the point 3, negative 1. And then my radius. Well, since I counted 3 boxes this way and 3 boxes that way, my radius of my circle has to be 3. So now you can write your equation of your circle. I usually like to draw the parentheses like this first, because again, that's what I'm trying to end up with. And draw in all your squares so that way you don't forget. You have an x, you have a y. It should be x minus 3, because you're doing the opposite of what that says. So since this is a positive number, it's negative here. And then y plus 1. Because again, opposite of positive 1 is negative 1. And then in your equation, it's always 3 squared, which you can simplify your equation a little bit and say x minus 3 plus y plus 1 equals 9. Now let's look at the last one. So find the equation of the circle that is tangent to the x-axis and passes through the point 5, 2. So first let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. Actually, that's not quite what I wanted. And is centered. My apologies. So let's look here. At 5, 2, and I'm tangent to the x-axis. That means that I really only touch the axis in one spot. So it looks like that. The key thing is you can't go through the x-axis twice because then it wouldn't be tangent. Just like a tangent line only touches a circle in one spot, it's almost like saying the x-axis is your tangent line. So you need to know the center of your circle and your radius to write the equation. Well, you're told the center right here, so you do the opposite, x minus 5, and y minus 2. And then your radius of your circle. Well, since you're tangent to the x-axis, you can draw your radius in right here. Since this point is 2 boxes away from the x-axis, your radius is 2. So your equation of your circle is x minus 5 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 4. And that's your answer. Good luck, and please let me know if you have any questions.